All right, so my name is Seth Hernley. I am working on a project called Wayne Farms. Wayne Farms is more of an idea right now. It's a building foundation. I've been working on this with the team, Mr. Morrow, his wife Erin Morrow, a couple administrators, a couple teachers, specifically Mr. White in the Career Center. So my project revolves around this piece of land right here. Wayne Township actually owns this piece of land. It's located, as you can see, on 21st Street, next to Westridge Cemetery. It's in between Raceway and Country Club Road. It's just a little bit west of here, northwest. So since the township already owns this land, it's kind of been available, not so much to me, but it could be in the future. So the vision for this land is to turn it into a multi-acre farm. It would be a produce farm, so we would grow herbs, vegetables. We may even have some fruit trees, and then we'd actually maybe have some flowers there. So this is kind of what the project, or what the land will maybe look like one day. It's just a draft, but it actually is drawn to scale. Just a couple of plots, greenhouses, everything you need to kind of keep a farm running. So the two goals of our project, of Wayne Farms, the first one is selling produce. So we want to impact the community as much as possible. We want to change their lives, whether it's making them healthier or just having that outlet to go and be a part of an event maybe taking place at this location. So Wayne Township actually is part of a food desert, which I'll explain in a little bit. But part of the selling produce is fighting back against that. The other goal, which is just important, if not more important, is educational programming. Everything will take place in the township. So that will actually come second, because you can't have educational programming, obviously, without the farm. So, like I said earlier, I would explain, food deserts, if you're not already aware, are places that do not have access to affordable fresh foods. Indianapolis is actually home to the largest food desert in the entire country. So this means people are going to like gas stations and stuff to get groceries, which is also more expensive, but also less quality. So actually, Wayne Township has a chunk of this food desert under its name. So if you're looking at like 34th Street, Claremont, and then also a little bit on the south side, these places, there's no grocery stores nearby. They either have to go to a different area or they go to gas stations. So Wayne Farms will provide affordable fresh foods to the surrounding community. Like I said earlier, the 21st Street location by the cemetery will actually target Claremont and 34th Street primarily. The closest places they could really go is like 38th Street. The grocery store across the street just closed, so that's unfortunate. So it's kind of pretty relevant right now to get those going. So some partnerships and relationships. The biggest one is that everything will be operated under Wayne Township. So the money will stay within Wayne Township. The employees, if there ever has to be any, all the funding, it'll all feed back into Wayne Township. The second thing is we will be indirectly partnering or unofficially partnering with other organizations. So nothing official, but we have a meeting with like Eskenazi Health, Indy Urban Acres, Growing Places Indy, and stuff like that. And they've been helping us out, like free consulting, so stuff like that. All right, so the funds. So startup funds will actually come from outside sources, so we won't be asking the township or anybody for money, which is a big deal, I believe. The USDA actually has grants for this kind of thing. So anything grown in Indiana, like 90% is actually crops. It's actually not for people to eat, but actually what we eat is called special crop. It's kind of ironic. So there's actually tons of funding out there for special crop. So that process starts in September. So we will probably get that going here in September of 2017 if we get approved by the board. And then after that, everything will be pretty self-sustaining after a couple of years. It will take some startup funds, obviously, because it'll be a big project. But if you do it slowly and you build it correctly, you're not going to jump the gun and have losses there. And then that leads into a lot of like financial gateways and stuff with Harvest, different other programs, and then just lead back into Wayne Township. So then comes educational programming. So the vision we see for educational programming starts at the elementary school level, if not earlier. We would have students travel to the farm, whether it's on a yearly field trip, a monthly field trip. We can do outreach programs, special events, and stuff like that. Getting these kids involved early as possible to impact them. This can impact their health, but also can impact the way they learn, which is really important here in Wayne Township. So there are many benefits of, like I said, of urban gardening. The biggest one is project-based learning. It teaches kids to work with other people and also learn how to do stuff like we're doing now in Capstone, from start to end, and learn along the way. You also build special key characteristics in young learners and old learners as well. We can have a lot of benefits throughout the high school and the middle schools. We already have a lot of people reaching out to us. Lenders has already reached out to me, Mr. Wilson. Tons of people from Chapel Hill Center have wanted to get involved. Our special education programs here at Ben Davis are dying to get involved. AP Environmental Science. So we have the people who are interested. It's just a matter of providing the curriculum and providing the opportunities. So like I said, Wayne Farms will give students of all ages the opportunity to learn the value of ownership through responsibility. And, two clarifications I would like to make is the sustainability. There's a couple of issues with that, but we do have resolutions for those. I am graduating, so we do have a team, and that's the biggest thing. We have a team who's going to carry on this project so that when I graduate, it doesn't just get thrown in the trash. And that's why we also don't want to ask the township for funding, because we don't want them to think we're going to take their money and not do anything with it. We want to build a program that lasts. And then I want to talk about Capstone's impact on me. Capstone has kind of given me the opportunity to just do something a little more than just a normal classroom setting. And it also has helped me with my business skills. I'm not the best presenter, but it's helped me a little bit. And then working with I run a little business on the side. It's helped with that. It's helped me decide what I want to go into. I did get accepted to kinesiology at Purdue University, but I would like to transfer to business. I just like the concepts and stuff like that. I like the planning that goes into projects and stuff. It also has impacted my health skills, because I am an advocate for health and eating healthy. So I would like to see this project grow and impact other kids just like that. So, and then like I said, my future education is going to impact my career choice. So, and that is it. If you guys have any questions,
talk to me a little bit more about this idea of a food desert. And where did you first hear about this? And kind of how does this food desert idea inform what you're trying to do within Wayne Township?
All right. So food deserts, like I said, are just areas that don't have access to affordable fresh foods. That could classify under any of those two, affordable or fresh. So I heard about this first from Mr. Morrow's wife, Erin Morrow. She brought this idea to me, and I did research on it, and it just become clear that it's relevant in Indianapolis, because Indianapolis actually is the largest food desert, and that kind of scared me. I was like, I didn't really believe it at first, but now I see that there's really areas where there's physically no grocery store. So these kids are not, I guess these families are not exposed to healthy foods, or even just real foods, I suppose. And that can impact the way you learn, that can impact the way you think and grow, and even how you interact with your family and the community. So, does that answer your question, or did I?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Any other questions? Mike?
Are you like afraid of how you put the garden next to like a graveyard? Aren't you afraid the plants are going to steal the nutrients from the dead people? They can help because it's the soil.
I think
I think what Mr. Deal's saying is you're going to give rise to the zombie apocalypse.
I think that's what
Your plants are going to be haunted.
Sean?
So I know you mentioned something about a food desert on the south side, and this farm is of course going to be on the west side. So those are two different areas. So how does that exactly solve the food desert like happening in the south side? What would you do with that?
So I just want to make it clear that there is also a big part of the food desert is Claremont and 34th Street, and that is close by. I did throw out that there's areas on the south side and on the east side of Wayne Township.
Okay.
Hollowville's technically not in Wayne Township, but that area is pretty relevant there too. But the south side, this is just the beginning. This could be the hub for weed farms, whereas you could have small garden locations at elementaries in the future. Just a matter of slowly increasing sustainability.
Okay, and do you plan on maybe like transporting some of these goods to the south, also like as well as like making other farms there too? So maybe like start out like, do you plan on starting out transporting these to a certain side of Indianapolis and then creating a farm in that area?
I think the way we're going to make it last and make the program work is that we start small.
Okay.
So that could definitely be, it's definitely been in the vision, it's been talked about.
Okay.
But it's not something we'd be able to do right away, just because if we try to jump and do everything right at once, there's a lot of room for failure there. There's a lot of room for mistakes. But definitely it's in the works. So.
I think what Seth was trying to say here is that Wayne Township actually has a farm on the south side as well. This one is a personal farm. So, right, that's what you're trying to say, Seth?
Yeah.
All right, so on the north side, there is, this would be providing education. And on the south side, down by where the old Bridgeport Elementary School is, you could actually have your own plot where you could farm it and you could take it and do that.
I was kidding. Appreciate it. Olivia.
So are you gonna set it up like kind of like a market style, or like how do you plan on getting it out there?
So ideally, it'll be set up to have probably a weekly or bi-weekly farmers market throughout the harvest season. It'd be like market style. There's a couple different options. There's options where you can sell actually crates of food, and you can pay like upfront and then pay weekly or something like that. It's different. There's different ways to do it, but mainly it's just gonna be market style. Have that available to the community, get the word out, get supporters, get people to come and visit and participate in that. Carissa?
I know like different things need like certain types of like soil in order to like flourish and grow. Do you guys have the resources and the research to make sure like this land here will be able to grow these crops and they'll be able to?
Right. So that's something we've been talking about a lot lately. Excuse me. We've been researching a lot of types of soils and topsoil. I don't believe you would need any for something this large scale, because I think the soil is fine there. We're still in the process of doing research on that. But any work that needs to be done will be included in the startup cost, which will come from the grant.
I got a couple questions.
Okay.
Have you worked with at all or thought about working with the Career Center, the horticulture department, in carrying this forward after you move on?
Yes. So I have been working with Mr. White since about March. He's been pretty heavily involved after we decided what we wanted to do. After the vision was already foreseen, he jumped on board and helped us out there. He's going to be a big part of like making sure things keep going when I graduate and working with the team. We've been talking through possibilities of what the students can do, his students can do, and what they need to do to help out with this project and what they can learn from this project. So they will be involved as well.
And then yes, and then in the perfect world, seeing this come to fruition, what does this look like in like 2 years? Like what's happening? What does it look like? Who's using it? How are they using it with our students?
So to be realistic, we will know. We should know if we have permission to do this on June 6th of 2017. So this year. Realistically, we will not do much this year. Grant funding will start this fall, and then next summer and next spring, next harvest season, 2018. That is when physically you will see differences, possibly. We'll start small, maybe half an acre, just small scale, and then from there it will grow. I would try to be generous and say 4 years. 4 years before it's significantly impacting the community on a large scale, but maybe 2 years on a small scale. But 2 years on a small scale would be enough to make it still be worth it and to be sustainable. And then I would say around the 3 or 4 year mark, we would hope to start seeing implementation in the career center, in elementary school, and the buildings on the property. If there happen to be a couple of benches or shelter, make sure that parking lot's there for bus turnaround, and get those kids there and start implementing a lot of programming.
The last one, sorry, have you already have a plan in place for grandfathering this along? Like, is there someone in place that's gonna continue this work on the level that you've been working on it?
So yeah, it's hard because the people I've been working with also have full-time jobs. So I've been working on it quite a bit, but so have they. I am looking for another student to help out, but the thing about Capstone is I could target another Capstone student, but it's hard because Capstone has to be about what you want to do. It has to be something you're passionate about, something you're wanting to dedicate time towards. If not, it may not end up the way it should, just honestly. So I can't really find somebody and say, hey, do you want to take on this project as your Capstone project? Because then that defeats the purpose of Capstone. But I can find a student or a group, a student body to help out, to help run things, to help organize. But the biggest part is getting the adult mentors to be involved. The students that are already involved with them, get them on board. And then maybe there's even a future of like an FFA club and stuff like that. So,
two things to maybe help you out. You mentioned, I think, are you working with Miss Wyatt at all? You mentioned about
she has contacted us. We have contacted her briefly, but we haven't.
Because I know she's looking to do some raised beds around campus, but also this morning, and it was the second time I've seen them present, but it's the first time that they're working with Wayne. There is an organization that's looking to do community gardens on school properties. It may just be a stepping stone towards this, and it's the same concept, sustainability of healthy foods, and they want it open to the community. And they also want it to be educational. So I'll give you that information because it may be a way to help with that sustainability. But I think Ms. Wyatt may also be one of those mentors that you talked about to help sustain it long term.
I hope to get her involved pretty soon. I think she'll help out a lot. Another one is I've been contacted by Lyndhurst. They have a club there that actually really wants to get involved. They've heard about the project and they want to be involved in some way. They do some sort of landscape and also